Welcome back. All right, let's talk about something that's a total game changer, project management. Now, I know it can sound kind of corporate and boring, but trust me, it's not. It's the secret weapon that turns messy, chaotic ideas into actual amazing results. And we're going to break it all down using two really different real-world examples.
So what on earth could a brand new hospital system and a massive new car launch possibly have in common? You might think, not much, right? But here's the thing. They both depend on the exact same fundamental principles to get from a simple idea to a finished working product. So we're going to follow these two stories, a hospital getting a new scheduling system and an automaker launching 4 new cars to see how this stuff works in the real world.
So what is project management really? At its heart, it's just the framework you use to get things done right. It's not magic, it's a discipline. It's the playbook that makes sure you actually hit your goal, on time and without breaking the bank. And to really get a grip on it, we're going to break it down into 3 core pillars that you can use for pretty much any project you can think of.
Okay, first up, pillar number 1, the blueprint. I mean, think about it. You would never ever build a house without a detailed set of architectural drawings, right? It would be a disaster. Well, a project is no different. This is the stage where you map out everything before a single bit of real work actually begins.
You know, it sounds so obvious. Of course you need a plan. But you would not believe how many projects fail because they skip this step. They just dive right in. Without a clear plan, even the simplest goals can turn into absolute chaos. You've got to figure out all the work that needs to happen, from the huge milestones all the way down to the tiniest little tasks.
So how do you organize all that chaos? Well, there's this fantastic tool at the heart of project management called the Work Breakdown Structure, or WBS for short. It's all about taking a massive, intimidating goal and just chopping it up into smaller, bite-sized pieces that you can actually manage. This makes it way easier to figure out how long things will take, how much they'll cost, and who's going to do what.
And making one is actually pretty straightforward. Let's go back to our hospital project. The major deliverable, the big goal, is the new system up and running. That's step 1. Then you break that down into bigger chunks like configure the server. Finally, you get to the nitty-gritty, the detailed work packages for that task, like activate modules or set options. And just like that, you've got a clear, step-by-step roadmap.
And to make it all official, this entire blueprint, the goals, the scope, the WBS, the whole shebang, it gets formally signed off on in a document called the Project Charter. You can think of it like a project's official birth certificate. It's the document that gives the project manager the green light to actually start spending money and getting the team to work.
So our blueprint is locked in. We know what we need to do. Now it's time to actually do it. It's time to fire up the engine. This brings us to our second pillar, execution. This is where you're in the thick of it, managing the schedule, the money, and most importantly, the people to keep this thing moving forward.
Now, to keep that schedule on track, there's one thing project managers are absolutely obsessed with, and for very good reason. It's called the critical path. This is the one single chain of tasks, from start to finish, that determines the project's minimum completion time. And why is it so critical? Because if any task on this specific path gets delayed by even 1 day, the entire project's finish date gets pushed back by a day. It's that serious.
See, not all tasks are created equal. Some of them have what we call slack or float. They have a little bit of wiggle room. You know, maybe ordering new keyboards can slip a day or two and it's no big deal. But the tasks on the critical path, they have zero slack. None. Nada. Think about pouring the foundation of a building. Any delay there and the whole construction schedule gets thrown off. That's why a project manager's attention is laser focused on that path.
But you know, a project engine doesn't just run on timelines and tasks. It runs on people. And honestly, managing the stakeholders, that is, everyone who has a stake in the project, is just as crucial as managing the schedule. From the customer to the sponsor who's paying the bills to the team actually doing the work, the project manager's job is to keep everybody on the same page and pulling in the same direction.
And that brings us to our final pillar. And in my opinion, this is the one that separates the good project teams from the truly great ones. I like to call it the feedback loop. Because a project isn't really done when the work stops. The real lasting value comes from taking a moment to look back, to learn, and to make sure you're getting smarter every single time.
There's this great quote that just perfectly captures the madness of modern work. We've all been there, right? You finish a massive project, you're totally exhausted, and the pressure is on to immediately jump to the next crisis, the next deadline. We never pause to reflect. And then we act all surprised when the same old problems pop up on the very next project.
To break out of that cycle of insanity, the best teams formalize this process. They call it a lessons learned review. And this isn't just some casual chat by the water cooler. It's a structured, deliberate meeting designed to pull out all the hidden knowledge from a project so that you can make smarter decisions next time.
And the process itself is built around 3 beautifully simple but incredibly powerful questions. First, what went well? This helps you lock in your successes so you can do them again. Second, what could have gone better? This is where you dig for the root causes of problems. And the most important one, what is our advice? This is what turns reflection into concrete, actionable steps for the future.
And if you think this all sounds a little nice to have, check out the results from our European automaker. This is where the magic happens. After their first car launch, they did a lessons learned meeting and shared the report with the team for the second launch. That team did the same for the third. And the result? Every single launch had fewer quality problems and fewer delays than the one before it, until that fourth and final launch was nearly perfect. That is the power of the feedback loop.
So, we've covered a lot of ground. What's the big takeaway here? I want you to think of these 3 pillars not as some abstract theory, but as a practical, hands-on toolkit that you can literally start using today.
Here it is, all boiled down. Number 1, create your blueprint. Break all the work down with a work breakdown structure. Number 2, fire up the engine. Manage your schedule by keeping a close eye on that critical path. And number 3, close the feedback loop. Capture those lessons learned so you're always improving. Blueprint, engine, feedback loop. That's the system.
So I'll leave you with this question. Think about your own life right now, your job, a personal goal, maybe even just planning a vacation. What's the first project, big or small, where you could apply this simple but powerful framework of blueprint, engine, and feedback loop? Give it a try. Thanks for watching.